turning to? They're like, I don't know how to do that. I'm like, well, pretend like your spine is welded to your pelvis, right? And when you do that with your shoulder, it has to force that to happen. It's connected. The power generation is connected to the hips, right? When you step, because your legs are connected to your hips, you are turning your hips. So you are body turning, right? So see how that happens, right? As I was showing you earlier, if I go backwards, lo and behold, same thing, right? Okay. If I go to the side, right? Back foot around here, right? Whatever. Okay. So then with the feet as well. We're not going to get to too much footwork tonight. This footwork will just mess you all up if you haven't got some of the other basics on how to do all this stuff. And it's like, oh yeah. So, blocks and parries. Okay. So, sword blocks are a thing, and sword parries are a thing. By the way, when I say sword in front of those, it's more like blocks and parries. Okay? I mean, literally, if I go like this, because I have really good 14th century, 15th century armor on, right? That's a block.
See the actual rock.
In fact, I'll show it to you with arm. You're not going to swing hard at me because you'll break my arm if you do. Okay? But if I have really good armor on, and he swings at me and I do this, that's a block. Okay? If I do this, that's a parry. Okay? It's a really good way to define the difference. Blocks are just statically created things to put something in the way of the offensive thing that's coming at you. Right? Shield.
Stopping
Making a block.
Stopping the movement as opposed to redirecting it.
Exactly. Exactly. And so everybody heard that, right? Okay? So blocks have to be learned first. If you don't know how to make good blocks, parries is just going to mess with your head. I mean, unless you're that one guy, right? Because that happens. Right? I ate parries for years. And I'm not going to show many parries tonight, because again, you got to get your blocks first. But if you swing at my head, kind of like that, right? A nice parry is that, and then his sword is good. His sword is out of the way, right? Okay. Parries are stronger than blocks. Blocks just stop a thing for a moment, right? In fact, in the SCA, we get used to that stop working it to our advantage sometimes. Right? Oh, he made the block. I didn't have to stop it, or I didn't miss him, or anything like that, right? Okay? If it was real and there were shields involved, they'd probably stick in the shield or do something weird. But we're lucky that we don't have to worry about that level of fidelity. So, blocks. With the longsword, there's blocking your head, kind of head, upper, kind of torso area, right? Yeah, exactly like Gallen's doing. There's the kind of mid-lower torso hip area, which is doing, right? Here. And oh, look, we're using our hips. Oh my God, we're using our hips too. If you don't, right, and I do this, right, two things happen. One, I may not get extended far enough over. So if you swing at my body, and I do that, right, I might miss it, or I might be too slow if I add the body in there, right? Okay. No matter how much you think looking at Gallen when he moves and me when we move our hips, that looks like a slow motion, right? It is, but you know why it really isn't? Because it's literally him in this little tiny space around him, right? So it's actually super fast compared to this thing that's coming at him from 4.5 feet away or something. right? Okay? If I'm fighting single sword, and he swings at my head, and I'm late, because I was, thinking about drinking later or whatever, and I go like this, he hits me, right? You get to it in time, right? If I do this, I was there before he hit me, right? Okay? By the way, this also winds me up, so I can swing again, back at it, right? Okay? So we use our hips high. Again, for two reasons. One, because it gives us that full extension over here. And I'm not blocking out here, right? That's farther away from me. That's not only a bad angle for the block, but it also means I can't swing it very easy. I have to bring it back to you to swing it. Right. Okay?
Gives you less time to make the block too.
It does, yeah. So, then there's kind of the torso. And then we say, well, it's like a leg. He's spot on. You've been taught well. You've been taught well, Gallon. We generally just, I like to call them voids, movement voids, but generally don't do that. Okay? Now, if you're fighting longsword and you've swung at anything below a hip, which is considered a kill with a heavier weapon, right? If you're swinging at a leg, it's always a gamble. I'm not going to say don't do it, because I do it sometimes. But it's a gamble because if you get the leg, and he just hits you in the head or the body, bad trade, right? Isn't that what we say? Bad trade? Okay. So generally speaking, the only time I'm ever going to swing at a leg, especially against another longsword fighter, okay, is if they have a shorter longsword than me. And that's only rare. Meaning 3 inches shorter isn't going to make me want to get your leg. Because that's not a whole lot of difference in range. A foot and exactly. So if I'm using your great sword and you're using that, I might go for some legs a little more often. Okay. Now I might let go of top hand.
You're also less at risk because you're further away.
Exactly. So we reduce or diminish the negative aspects of the gamble, right? Okay. I might be here, but if he stepped in, I might have gotten a leg that I just walked. Yeah. Okay. Oh, by the way, from here, I have to be good enough. Again, just that one little moment, right? Okay. That's a whole other question. So generally speaking, if Gallum and I are fighting, okay, if he swings at a leg, I want to kill him. So he's not going to swing at a leg. But you find a sword shield guy or a great sword guy or something like that, right? Okay. Now I'm here, he swings at that leg, right? You're going to do things.